Hey, this is Buddy King with Beach King Realty in Panama City Beach, Florida. Today we're going to talk about appraisals. Appraisals are a big fear for buyers, and they're also a big fear for sellers when trying to get their home correctly priced with putting it on the market. That's why you hire a professional like me that understand that we have to use empirical data, not our emotions. That's the biggest mistake people make. They get their emotions involved, and you can't do that. What you owe on a property doesn't have anything to do with, if you owe nothing, then of course the value of the home is none, zero. You got to keep your emotions out of it and be real and use empirical data to support the value of your property. I have an occasion that happened, a lot of y'all know, with 38 in a very high-end property in Washington County. It's a street where the high-priced properties in the Panhandle are on 38. And I had two vacant lots adjoining across the street from the Gulf of America. Prime property. Very unusual, very rare to get an opportunity like this. But the seller called me and wanted me to sell them. And at that time, the Washington County was looking for a lot of parking. And so they needed land to build parking, whether it be golf cart parking, bicycle parking, automobile parking. And so I went to them with this property, and they have a rule that requires them to get two different appraisers. They went on a week apart. Keep in mind, this is a vacant lot. This is as simple as you can get when it comes to an appraisal. And they went a week apart and appraised the property. The property appraised at $1.2 million difference. The difference in appraiser one and appraiser two value $1.2 million. This should never happen, but it does happen more often than you think. It happens more in an area like this. So I had to go to bat for the seller and justify with the seller, which the property was priced high, but we weren't that far off. And then you got two appraisers that are $1.2 million apart. That we're hiring an experienced agent like myself to work on your behalf, whether you're the seller or the buyer, at getting the property priced correctly and get it sold. That's the whole purpose. We got to get it sold. Most of the time, people finance property, or even if they don't finance property, a lot of people don't realize, they think that just because they got a cash buyer, appraisals don't matter. How did these people become wealthy enough to pay cash for $1 million properties, $5 million property? They're not stupid people. They're well-educated people, and they know how to handle finances. When we sit down together to price your property, the first thing, I have a system that we'll use. The first thing you're going to do is take your emotions out of it, and then I'll provide the empirical data that will allow us to come up with the true market value of your property, so we won't have to worry about the appraisal when it comes time for the buyer to have another appraisal done on the property. Now, there's a couple of things that people don't realize. I come from a banking family, so I know this. If you borrow money and the bank holds their note in the bank, they keep them in their portfolio. They're not selling to Freddie or Fannie or any government entities. They hold the notes in their portfolio. They can loan an individual up to 20% of their capital account for a secured loan. And in this situation, it would be real estate and it would be a secured loan, and they can loan up to 10% of their capital account for unsecured. This is FDIC rule. It doesn't have to be 20% or 10%. It cannot exceed either of those amounts.
Hey, it's Buddy King. And listen, if you don't follow this channel, there's a good chance you'll never see me again. I constantly provide helpful content for those that are currently in the real estate market. Information can be extremely helpful for your buying and selling needs. So be sure to like and subscribe here. And most importantly, leave a comment to let us know if this was helpful to you. We're here to help the Panama City Beach area community, and we always love your thoughts and questions. Follow now, and then we'll see you with our next helpful video.